Hello people, I'm going to show you through a basic trench system that was used in World War I, and we're going to start with the basic structure of a trench. Here's what a trench would look like if it was cut in half. So you've got your parapet, which is the front wall, which was used to protect the trench and make it stable. You have your trench board, which was to get the soldiers' feet out of the mud, and that was also combined with the work of the sub, which is sort of like piping in a sewage system in the city. And there's a bolt hole where soldiers could sleep, couldn't make it very big for this model. And then we've got our fire step, where soldiers can go up to fire at the enemy. Now these trenches were often built in zigzag shapes, so that if the enemy got in the trench, they wouldn't be able to shoot right down the line and kill as many soldiers as if that many soldiers, since they have to go around corners. And there's also places for the enemy or for your soldiers to hide behind, so that when they come running past, you can go and kill them and stuff. But not all trenches were made this well. So, most didn't have a sub. And I'll just finish this so you get the full-on picture. Imagine it like this, just rained. Oh no, you've got water in here. Since you had a dirt floor, it would turn into mud, which would be really hard to get through. Like some soldiers even drowned in the mud, since they couldn't get out. And that's because most of the trenches were not this well developed. Most of the well developed trenches would have been for low rank officers up, while all the other soldiers practically had this to drown. Layout of most trenches, like in their different types of trenches and stuff, the way to get through without being shot. Here is from here onwards, it's no man's land, and which is the area that's in between two different trenches, often where, especially in the First World War, people would try and do what they call a charge, where they could just try and run through and overcome the enemy with sheer numbers. So, without defenses, that would be heavily possible, but both armies would have some sort of defenses, like for beginning barbed wire angled, so you slow down either trying to go around it or going straight through it. Then we've got those larger barbed wire walls, where there are places to go through, but only the people owning that barbed wire wall know how to get through it. Otherwise, you're slowed down and cut by its sharp barbs and stuff like that, and at the mercy of people here who would shoot at you at will, and then also the machine gunner. Now this brings me on to the frontline trench, and which is the first defense against an enemy's charge. So they need to be on constant alert for attacks, and they're the ones that will leap up to go for their charge and try and take the other trench. Let's say the enemy does that. Just the soldiers in the frontline trench would not be enough. because they had rifles which are slow reloading, and they could only hold so many bullets in their gun, and they weren't very accurate. So there were machine gunners. And so like the enemy's coming, they've gone through the net. The machine gunner would just turn it on, wouldn't have to bother to aim, seeing how many soldiers there were, and fire away, and he would have taken out a lot of soldiers, since in a charge it's traditional not to take cover. And next trenches are the communication trenches, which have barbed wire around them to slow down the soldiers from going into the support trenches. Communication trenches were designed to allow the soldiers to walk through to go to the bunkers, give supplies to machine gunners and frontline trenches, or move back without being shot. Then that brings me to the last trench I have here, or second last, which is the support trench. Normally there'd be 3 or 4 of these. These because they're designed, but this diagram or model has been condensed. Their job, they don't have to be as alert for attacks. But let's say I'm a soldier, I'll know there's an attack going on, and I'd go with all the reserve soldiers in here. And I'd run through the communication trenches, is to go help the enemy, or to help our army fend off the attack. So and then I can go pew pew and shoot stuff, and shoot the people coming in the charge, and hopefully fend them off. And now here's one of our last trenches, which is our ammo dump one, which leads to supplies and ammo. And this is where it'd be carried through. There'd be one on the other side as well that hasn't been put in. And then there's one more defense. It's the artillery. And their job is to practically fend them off and just shoot really powerful projectiles, also to try and stop the enemy tanks from coming through. So, like, the soldier would just load this, shoot it, and then bang, the TNT goes flying, turn it off, wait for the charge to set off, otherwise TNT will explode prematurely. And then you could fire again if you wanted to. Yeah, and that's the last defense. And here's a sky view of the whole trench system. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you learned about the trench, an effective trench system during World War I.